Okay, hello people. My name is Joe. This is the Vox Victoria YouTube channel. Welcome to it. And in this video, I'm going to give you my thoughts on how you would go plant-based or vegan. But let's call it plant-based. If you were a regular, traditional American diet meat eater and you wanted to sort of find out what it's like to go plant-based. My advice to you is to not go cold turkey. Do not do that, because you could get sick. I mean, you could really get to the point where you're not feeling so good. And one thing I want to tell you is that you need to go slow with this. And I would not transition into a wholly plant-based diet all at once. You should transition it over the course of maybe a year or 2 years even, and just let your body get adjusted to it. One thing that could happen if you become plant-based, like just say cold turkey, gonna be not eating any animal products, gonna eat all plants, or go vegan or whatever, you may be fine for a while, but let's say 6 months into it, you may suddenly feel like your tank is running out of gas and you have this drop off, which is a weird thing. That could easily happen. You may think you're doing it correctly, but you may get yourself in trouble. So let's just talk about transitioning slowly here. So let's say you're a regular traditional American diet, or you're a meat eater, and you want to try a few plant-based meals, or you want to introduce more plants. That's fine. I commend you for that. This is great. And now these days in the modern world, as long as you're not living out in the wilderness somewhere, and it's easy to do, easier, right? So you could start with one plant-based meal a month. Like make a deal out of it. Say, okay, this is going to be, I'm going to do research, I'm going to go online, figure out which plant-based meal I want, and I'm going to make it myself, and we're going to celebrate, and that's going to be it. And you can share that with your significant other or your friends or your family, whatever. And it's just one. It's one per month, right? Out of all the other ones, you can just continue on doing what you're doing, and see how it goes, right? You may have to go out for a cheeseburger afterwards. That's fine. You may get to a point where you would say, okay, I'm going to do one plant-based meal a week, right? So that's great too. And this is, again, something that you would kind of work up to. You do your research, figure out what that meal is going to look like, and make sure that when you build that meal, you're paying attention to the things that go in it, so that you're giving your body the things your body needs in that meal. There's another video I did that talks about what the body needs, independent of what the mind is thinking about, right? So even though you think I'm going to be plant-based, you may be cheating your body out of the things that it naturally needs. So you want to be careful, right? So here's a couple meal examples. You could do breakfast, right? You could do an overnight oats. There are plenty of recipes out there. I do that once a week. I have an overnight oats, and in my oatmeal that I do overnight, I chop up pistachios, I put cashews in there, and I put a little bit of, now this will sound weird, if you don't know about this thing, I should do a product review of this. They have something called powdered peanut butter. It's basically dehydrated peanut butter with just all the liquid taken out of it, and it's a powder. And you could add that to your overnight oats. It sounds weird, but it adds a lot of good flavor, and you get a little protein in there. So that, I add chia seeds. So I'm thinking, like, with your oatmeal, here's how to build in the protein component, so people don't say, oh, you're not getting your protein, here, put the chia seeds in, put some walnuts in there, some pistachios, some cashews. That's going to get you covered. And then you could put a little powdered peanut butter in there. If you have some vegan protein powder, you want to pay attention to that. You don't want to use the whey protein powder in your vegan meal, because whey is actually a derivative of an animal product. But you could put the powdered peanut butter in there, and you'd be still on the vegan meal path. Then you can mash up a banana and put some oat milk in there or some soy milk. Almond milk is another one you could do, right? So you can make it a vegan overnight oats with enough protein in it so you get through. Now, have that by 10 a.m. you might be crashing and you have to reach for a bacon and egg sandwich or whatever, I don't know, a bagel, something with cream cheese. So you want to pay attention to how your body's reacting to these vegan meals. Another vegan meal that you could do would be just have beans and rice, right? So cultures all over the world survive on beans and rice. You're not going to die, right? So you could have rice, you could have pinto beans or black beans. You could get an Indian dish, right, that's vegan. You could have like a dal. That's another good vegan meal. I have to tell you, another peanut butter and jelly is another meal that I eat. It's a kind of a cheat meal, but it's vegan. You got a couple slices of bread, you got your peanut butter, your jelly, no animal products in that. You pile it in, good protein, and you're feeling good about things. But what I want to do is encourage you to look and find a couple of recipes that you could do that would be plant-based, right? And you could make that for yourself and just see how it goes. I'm not saying that you need to completely go plant-based, but what I am saying is that introducing more plant-based meals is not a bad thing to do. You know, it's going to be a little different for you. You'll learn and you'll see, hey, I actually feel okay. This is working, right? So pasta is another one. You could do pasta with olive oil and black pepper and garlic. That's good. So that's another one I do. You could always try tofu. So tofu is kind of like butter. You wouldn't eat a stick of butter. You shouldn't. But the butter adds flavor to things and it helps enhance the cooking, right? Butter is delicious, but it's not vegan. Tofu's kind of the same way. It's just this sort of bland foundation that you can build flavors into, right? So you can get a vegan simmer sauce that you can chop up the tofu and put that in and simmer it. And then you could add that to rice and you'd be getting your protein. And it's not bad. I mean, tofu on its own is not delicious. The texture's bad, the flavor's bad. It's just not much good to say about putting it this way. But it is a great source of plant-based protein. The other thing you could do, one of my favorite things to do, is make, you know how you make a chicken salad or a potato salad, instead of putting like chicken in it, put chickpeas in it, garbanzo beans. So you take a can of garbanzo beans, drain them and rinse them. I don't use the aquafaba that comes in the can. I think it tastes gross. So I would rinse them and you put them in a bowl and you take a potato masher and you mash them all up. Mash, 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 okay? Then you can get some vegan mayonnaise, not too much, just a little, and a little bit of mustard in there. You can chop up some red onion and you can put some black pepper in that. And if you have a little, we call it piccalilli, relish, you could put a little of that in there and mix it all up and basically make your egg salad or your chicken salad without the egg or without the chicken. You're substituting chickpeas and you mash it all up and then you put it inside of a pita bread. My goodness, it's fantastic, particularly in the summer. It's an easy meal to make and you'll love it, and that's plant-based. So that's one that I learned about years ago on YouTube. Someone on YouTube showed that to me and I made it and it was wonderful, and now it's a regular part of my diet in the summertime. It's an easy sandwich to make. You can put lettuce in there, throw some cucumber in there, some avocado. You get creative with it, right? And suddenly you end up with this pita pocket that has chickpea salad in it, and you've got avocado, some lettuce in there, And it's a delicious sandwich. And if you bring this out in front of people, they'll be like, what's that? And is it egg salad? Is it chicken salad? No, I made it with chickpeas. What? Yeah, it's all plant-based. That's astonishing. Can I have some? No, you can't. Make your own. Okay, so I want to encourage you to add a few plant-based meals slowly. That's how you transition, and you go as far as you want. You don't have to transition all the way. You can keep eating meat, keep eating animal products, but what you're doing is bringing in a few plant-based meals once in a while. See how you feel, and don't go too far, right? So you want to make sure that your blood work is fine. You need to keep up with your B12 and your vitamin D and those vitamins and minerals that you need. So be careful there, right? So you don't want to transition all at once. You will get sick. And I think that's it. I hope I've given you a little light bulb on how to transition. You don't need to do it all at once. You don't. You can just do it slowly. And over time, you'll find the balance of how much you want and how much you don't want. And again, I've said this in another video, when it comes to what you feed your body, I need you to be selfish. In this one instance, it is your body, this is your life, this is your living essence experience. So whether you're plant-based or carnivore or somewhere in between, that's fine. It's your journey, and it needs to be your journey, not somebody else's idea of what you should be doing. So I would just caution you there. All right, I hope this helps. Go get yourself some chickpeas, get some beans, get some tofu, get some quinoa, get some fruits and vegetables, get some ramen noodles and throw some tofu on there. You can do it. You can do it, and you'll be happy, and it's going to be a good experience, and I'm telling you, you'll be glad I mentioned it. I'm Joe, out from Vox Victoria. Do me a favor, be nice to yourself, do something good for yourself, do something good for other people, be patient with people. There's enough chaos and confusion out there. And as I've said before, if you've got an army or a military, please use it for good. Don't be blowing people up. We don't need that. Okay, off I go. Thanks, people. Bye-bye. Who's my little chickpea?